We are launching a new 18 kilowatt boiler that's basically been designed around the British homes. Basically, it's an external boiler, and there is an internal boiler, basically the same version, the same size, white cased but grey panel roof.
What are the benefits of this being external? Because that's quite unusual, isn't it?
Well, it's been designed, it's only an 18 kilowatt boiler, so it's been designed for a small property. And obviously space is at a premium inside the properties. So it's basically been designed to go outside and not take space up in the house where it's obviously at a premium.
And any regulations about the siting of it, where it needs to go? It's obviously not a light piece of kit, I guess.
Yeah, if you can site the boiler away from the property by at least 2.3 metres, you can actually use the 2 metres of flue it's supplied with as standard, and you can just use the 2 metres of flue. Now, if you're going up against the wall of the property, which really this has been designed for, then you're terminating to HETAS regulations, and you're terminating the flue just to normal HETAS regulations.
I mean, having said what I've said, it is a lot smaller than other units I've seen.
Yeah, I think we believe it's probably the smallest boiler on the market at the moment, and it's proving very popular.
Okay, so tell us a little bit about it then.
So we've got a 50 kilo hopper stove, if you'd like to get a shot in there.
You can see everything on the screens up above if you can't see what's going on.
On the left-hand side of the boiler, it is capable of adding a further stove that can make the boiler run for longer if you want to automate the boiler.
Okay.
Now, the burner chamber is situated
at this point,
yes, it's situated at the front. It's fully serviceable from the front, so you can put it in tight spaces.
Right.
So the boiler's running at the moment.
Certainly is.
Now, that'll upset it because obviously we've put air and what have you, so it might get a little bit of smoke.
Right, okay. But otherwise you wouldn't?
Otherwise you wouldn't. Only on startup. You might get a puff of smoke on startup as the pellets start to get going, but when the boiler's running, you should get no smoke whatsoever. Now, the boiler at the moment is installed on a normal 125 litre indirect system. And this is fine, but we do prefer you get them onto a buffer tank if possible. They'll run for longer, they will modulate, but you can do this, but it's more efficient to put them on buffers.
And can you do a straight replacement on an existing oil boiler?
You can do a straight replacement so long as the system's up to usual regulations and the valves are on the system, obviously on the radiators and what have you. If you do come across a system that you're going to a house that has a combi boiler, it may be an LPG or an oil combi boiler, there's a little pod here that we've designed as well that we can actually bolt onto the side of the boiler that actually turns this boiler into a combi boiler. So you don't need to have the cylinders and reinstate cylinders in the house. Maybe the people have ripped the cylinders out many years ago and they don't want to put them back in the house. So it's really popular.
And what about commissioning?
Commissioning takes about 40 minutes. If you are engineers, register on the Trianco website, go into the engineers area, and then you will be able to see DVDs of commissioning. So you can actually watch DVDs. You can even pop a laptop on there, and you can actually download the DVD, the commissioning details and installation. So it actually tells you where every single wire goes, how to put them in. Really, really informative. There are also householder DVDs available to download also. So if you're going to see customers, you can actually play a DVD and actually warn them what they're expected to do and how it runs.
And in terms of the pellets, any special requirement in terms of pellets? Are there certain types that are better than others? Or?
Well, the boiler, we always insist on EM plus pellets. So you only want to use 6mm EM plus pellets. Doesn't matter what type they are, but obviously they're made to a standard, the moisture content's correct, the sizes are correct. So you really want to use EM plus pellets.
Brilliant. And as far as the homeowner is concerned, what do they need to do on a regular basis? Is there anything at all?
The homeowner, depending on how and how much interactive they want to be with the boiler, you can automate obviously the feeding system, so you could take the work out, but most homeowners choose to fill the boiler by hand. We are expecting the homeowner to empty the ash pan every couple of weeks or so, but apart from that, not much really.
And what about servicing of it?
Annual services is a must. really is a must.
So that's a must?
It's an absolute must.
Right, okay.
So basically, the boiler will need a yearly annual service.
You mentioned earlier about the commissioning and so on,
Yeah.
about engineers logging onto the website and so on. Obviously, people need to be trained in terms of installation and so on. I know we've got Adam from Easy MCS there. He's just waving. He is standing up, believe it or not. There's an offer we've got on for the duration of the show that if you want to see him get favourable rates on training. So you can see Adam about that. What for you is the unique thing about this?
Well, the unique thing is really its size and its ability to go outside. It's really unique. And we believe that this pod, for the side of it, we don't believe there's another one on the market from anyone. This is really unique.
Brilliant. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, has anybody got any questions they might want to ask at all to Peter about what you've seen or heard? Maybe what you've not seen?
Yeah.
Anybody got any questions they'd like to ask? Anything else you want to say about the system before we move on?
Obviously, if you want to automate internal boilers, so obviously if you're going to site a boiler inside, we have a vacuum systems available for all internal boilers.
Yeah.
You don't want to be fitting these, obviously, on an external boiler. So you can actually feed by vacuum or an auger screw feed system if you're close enough to the property. So we'll demonstrate this running, but bear in mind, this piece of kit is usually sat on top of the boiler.
Yeah, and we faked it almost for today.
We faked it, yeah. So you can hear the pellets going in. One good tip, if you are going to use a vacuum system, you have to make the customers aware there is a noise to it. It's a vacuum. So we'll let the pellets go now. These will be usually obviously dropping into the into the hopper. The vacuum system is able to be programmed to fill once a day, so it could be programmed to fill at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. So it's not going to come on in the middle of the night and actually wake all the people up. So So it is fully programmable.
And it gathers the dust as well, so it takes that out.
These are actually for filling, and this is a filling, and it doesn't take the dust out. This is for when the guys are blowing pellets into the hopper.
Right.
So he comes with his lorry and he puts his 2 pipes on. One's for filling, one's for sucking the dust out as
so it extracts the dust.
Extracting the dust, yeah.
Brilliant. Okay. So seems a pretty simple system.
It is a simple system, yeah.
Okay. Good.